Hello, wonderful viewers. Thank you for joining me today. I am thrilled with the news. Of course, a lot of us probably are. We knew that William Barr's summary did not accurately summarize. Well, he said, oh, it wasn't a summary, but whatever it was, summarize Mueller's report. And now Mueller, I suspect, has okayed someone from his team to leak something to the New York Times. And I don't even know if that's a leak, if it's after the probe is concluded. It probably isn't. But we have a New York Times story late last night saying Barr did not accurately summarize the report. In fact, his letter was misleading. And they were concerned that if nothing was said and weeks go by, that this misleading statement is cemented as the official conclusion. Puzzlement. Why didn't Barr release one of the summaries that Mueller's team had prepared for him? That would have been important. It would have already had no confidential information. They were shocked that he didn't. Okay, so I want to ask some questions about this and about another issue that's been on my mind. I knew that there's a lot in that Mueller report that's going to be extremely damaging to the president. We kept getting this, our cup runneth over card whenever we were asking that. Okay, I'm going to ask what Spirit wants me to ask. Show me Trump today. Show me him today. Oh, do we have to look at him today? But okay, show me Trump today. Spirit says ask that, so I will ask that. Okay, here, I'm going to pick 3 cards. Yeah, okay. All right. So we have the 5 of Wands, the Hermit, and the Lover's card. So he is definitely talking to people he's in bed with. In the political readings, a lot of times that's being in bed with somebody. And he is holed up with them. Yeah, he is going to be spending time today sort of retreating. I see on the phone, though. I see on the phone more than setting up maybe an in-person meeting. A lot of political debate. He doesn't like this. We have, the news is full of the political debate going on about, don't we all have a right? Now there's more fuel for the Democrats to demand that the report be released to the public, and quickly. He does not like this. He is on the phone with people. Everybody. People from Fox News, Mitch McConnell, the senators that have really backed him up, maybe Lindsey Graham. I feel like he's on the phone with one who says, I talked to the other, and he is distressed. He's angry. Of course, he takes no responsibility for this issue. He is angry. Yeah. I'm very puzzled by this, you guys, because that report, the entire Mueller report. So apparently everybody's saying Trump and his attorneys have not had it. But I kept getting they basically have already a few weeks ago. And so maybe that's one of Mueller's summaries that they have. They've had a good deal of information about it already. So that could have been one of Mueller's summaries. Not to say that Trump has been able to read all of it, because he doesn't read that much. It's very dry. I wouldn't think it'd be too dry if it involved my life, but it's very dry to Trump. Yeah, he really does count on his attorneys. But yet he doesn't let them freely express themselves, and he doesn't take their advice seriously. I wanted to ask about that Mueller report. Okay, so we're going to apparently get a redacted copy somewhere near mid-April what's that look like? Okay, let me pull 3. Okay. We still get our cup runneth over. It does have a lot of damaging information, even the redacted that Congress gets. It has a lot of damning information. And the Page of Cups, that's a little bit of good news. And I feel like that is for, those who watch my videos, for us with our leanings, our political leanings. Although there are plenty, I do always appreciate it when we get some real conservative Republicans on this channel too, listening and commenting. As long as the comments are nice, they stay. As long as they're not, like horribly aggressive, or something like that, or, they stay. Anyway, we have the 7 of coins. And so it feels like it gets us feeling a little more secure, but not a lot. People still want the whole thing. People still want something to be done about this. People still are saying, well, and how are we going to go on like nothing happened? There are demands for something to be done. Okay. All right. I wanted to ask a question. I have to tell you guys, when the Mueller report was apparently finished, and we heard that the end of March. And then we had Trump quiet those 2 days at the end of March. Was it 27th? I don't know, quiet those 2 days. And I felt like something really serious is happening. Some very serious conversations are happening at Mar-a-Lago. I felt like it wasn't going to be resignation right then, but I felt like it could have been. It's hard to explain. I've had these readings, and all the time, kind of like, probably winter 2018, 2019, toward March, but timing, we don't know timing. Timing is a little unpredictable with tarot. But I had this weird feeling going up to that date, like in February and March, like there were 2 tracks, but one was more likely. And I remember I did a reading in February where I said, well, there's that powerful card, but it just feels too soon that he'd be resigning. And somebody commented, too soon? What do you mean? I'm like, yeah, I know, right? It's it's past time for him to resign, right? But, intuitively, it felt too soon. And like in the next month would be too soon. But yet I had this feeling like, but it could be, could be the end of March. And then he was quiet 2 days. And then he came out, guns blazing, admitting victory, the whole thing. Or, claiming victory, the whole thing. And I thought, yeah, that's what I thought would happen. But it felt like it could have gone a different way. And then I listened to a video by Psychic Violetta, who is just wonderful. I love her. Anyway, she said that during those talks at Mar-a-Lago, those 2 days he was so quiet, he was given the option of resigning. And the image, and you got to check out her video. It's very, very lovely. But the image she saw was, I'll put a link below in the first comment that I pinned, was of him, like there are 2 boats offered to him. And one is in a protected harbor, and is even a fence in the water, but it's anchored. And the other, or he could have a boat that's out there in the free ocean, the seas, free and, just whatever, in the sunshine. And he chose to be in the boat that was out beyond the fence in the unprotected waters. And I think that rings so true for me. That rings so true for me. That they were looking at what was in the Mueller report and the stuff coming up in the Southern District of New York and other places, all these other investigations too. And he was given an opportunity to resign, and he did not take it. So, and I did think he would. Like I said, I felt like there were 2 tracks coming up to it. It's like toward almost, that end of March, I felt like, well, it's possible he could still, this could be it. But then it didn't feel likely. So now I know why. Now I know why. Okay, but that doesn't mean resignation is off the table. A lot of times in the readings, I was seeing something important happening in midsummer, later summer, July-ish, and it doesn't mean it's off the table. And frankly, you guys, I don't think it means that was his last opportunity to make a pretty good deal. I think he kind of knows that. This is a guy who has refused to take responsibility until, like, he knows if other people are motivated to give him a good deal. And he knows that if he says no today, well, maybe later he could give a yes, and that'd be all right too. He maybe even would negotiate something more favorable, he thinks, but in this case, he is not correct. Okay, I'm going to lay some cards about that particular issue. Is this apt? Is this... Yeah, look at these cards. Right, so we have him hanging on right now to his security, but Temperance Angel is telling us gradually, and this is out in the cold. So, I mean, like I said, resignation is not off the table. Quitting before his first term is up is certainly not off the table. But maybe that's why we were seeing it happening then later. But these are my thoughts. I do not feel intuitively like he would run and win again. I do not feel that intuitively. My fear brain, the fearful thinking, that one that can get kind of loud, that one I hear, but I don't feel it intuitively. So I do want to ask a little bit more about his cognitive functioning too. Okay, I was joking about this morning with somebody, with a friend on the phone, but because I was having trouble saying a 6-syllable word. So I figured, well, maybe that was okay. It was a 6-syllable word. But he had trouble saying origin, right? He wants the origins of the Mueller report investigated, right? Because he wants to get vengeance on whoever started this. So he said oranges. You guys have seen it. And I thought, well, that can happen. I thought, But then he said it correctly, origin. And I said, okay, well, maybe that was just, brain fart, whatever. But then he kept perseverating on it. He kept thinking about it, like he couldn't. He came back and he said the word again, and he hesitated, and then he said oranges again. So now that is a little weird. That's not your typical brain fart. So show me, Spirit, what is what do you get on that? Is there cognitive functioning really declining now? Okay. Well, it's the beginning of that, you guys. We have the Empress. So we have him hanging on for a little while yet, right? Just like that 4 of coins before. But because there is security, he's got some security here. He's got a lot of people who protect him. He's got a lot of people who will, basically take him by the hand. And, frankly, if anybody's lived through Ronald Reagan's last couple of years of his presidency, it's harder to be hopeful that this would be easily, quickly detected and addressed. Because Ronald Reagan, in his last 2 years, people were talking about Alzheimer's and dementia for him a lot, and still, he finished out his term, and in fact, a few years later, it came out. Of course, he does have Alzheimer's, but there wasn't a lot of discussion about. Wait a minute, we knew that back then, and everybody just took care of him, or took advantage of him, or used an opportunity to get their stuff passed. There was plenty of that. So I don't know that people are going to hop right on this in the government and get this looked at. I don't think so, but it is the beginning of troubles. Yes. Okay. So let's see. There are so many other questions that I do have, but I might put them in a separate video. This one's getting pretty long. Can you just show us a little bit? Oh, the taxes are coming too. He doesn't have any say-so in it. The IRS has been subpoenaed now. Ooh. Yep. So what happens when the House committee gets his taxes? Is this the Ways and Means? Okay, we got the Fool. He's looking. Okay, let me get two more quick. All right, let's see what we have. We've got the Fool, the Ten of Wands, and the Ten of Cups. Okay. Well, it's a new beginning. Very burdensome. The GOP tries to obstruct. That's what I'm getting there. It raises a lot of questions. There's a lot of things to investigate. That's why 10 of Wands. So the Dems are carrying that, and they are trying to investigate all this, but GOP tries its best to obstruct. So that'll be, we'll be hearing about that, though. We'll be hearing about that. We'll be impatient, but, we'll be hearing about it. Okay. All right. Well, thank you all so very much, and I will be back very shortly. Bye-bye.